For a look at the toll the storm has taken on areas outside of Toronto itself, let's go live to CP24's Andrew Brennan, who is at Markham Civic Center. Andrew.
Hey, Phil, we just decided that we would go see if we could say hi to some folks at the nearby grocery store because the skating rink that's really big behind the Civic Center, not open. They were actually still shoveling it. So here we are, but let's forget about not forget. Let's try that again. Let's focus on more than just Markham. The GTA got a lot of snow, more north of the city than inside south of Steeles. But because we're so lucky to be able to call on him at every beck and whim, it seems almost. Let's bring in Kerry Schmidt with the OPP because he knows how things have been going on the road much better than anyone. Well, first of all, Kerry, always appreciate speaking with you. And second of all, are we doing okay? I'd like to use the word okay. What's the picture like? Are we okay?
Well, did we do okay is maybe the better question. Over 400 calls for service, including and collisions, 260 crashes across the GTA in the last 24 hours here, but mostly all related to the crash. And then another 150 or so odd calls for service with vehicles stuck in ditches, and who knows how many more people got stuck beyond that. So did we do okay? The jury's still out on that. The good news is we just reopened southbound Highway 400 at Finch. That was closed since noon after we had a very serious collision involving a car and a tractor trailer. That driver still remains in critical condition. And other than that, most of the collisions that we had were mostly minor injuries and fender benders type. So, I think we have room to improve, but traffic volume was certainly a lot lighter, and Mother Nature certainly wasn't pulling any punches, and she came out with a full vengeance: cold, wind, ice, snow, temperature, everything. It was just the trifecta of challenges out on the roads, and so people were stuck in their cars, stuck in ditches and snowbanks, or stuck in traffic. Some of them were waiting hours for tow trucks. But I think we've turned the page. I think we're moving forward. Before the sun went down, I actually saw blue sky, and I think the snow has moved off, although I'm getting some flakes here on the 400 just south of Barrie.
Well, I know that the 400's had some trouble. Obviously, the DVP is under city purview now. Well, actually, no. It'd be. I don't know if it would be the OPP patrolling that yet because of the new deal. But Kerry, just very quickly, as you were talking about those numbers there, it sounded like we got a lot of reported cases. You had 200 mid-afternoon, so it seems like as there were more people out, even with all the plows and the like, we still had a lot of accidents during the time period that a lot of people were driving. Is that an indication of how bad the roads were or are?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like 260 crashes again, and those numbers kept going up from the afternoon to the evening hours. And so we kept going from call to call to call. And many vehicles may not have even reported their collisions, and they'll be coming into our reporting centers in the next day or two to report damage. The snow, the road surface was super slippery. And even with the plows going by, putting down salt, the temperatures weren't allowing that salt to really activate and start melting that snow and ice. And the snow and the wind just kept blowing it around. And so it really was a tough day out there for everybody. First responders getting across to these calls. And then, plows are out there. They're doing their circuits or their runs and trying to get the highways cleared. But again, there's lots of traffic in front of them and obviously traffic behind them as they're plowing the highways and trying to get that snow out of the way. And even on parking lots, side streets, city streets, in some cases, you can't even see where the curbs are. And some of the snow drifts are massive. So, this was a pretty significant event. Maybe not the biggest snowfall record in the world, but with the wind and the temperature, it certainly was not a pleasant day to be out there.
Kerry, I know we have to wrap up very quickly, but with the few seconds we have left, I just want to make sure, coming from someone in a position of authority like the OPP, when we talk about how the roads are with the plows and emergency vehicles, anything you want people to be reminded of about what they should be doing on the road?
Well, we kept telling people to stay home, wait for the system to pass, wait for the plows to clear, and then when you're driving, drive with caution and courtesy and respect and patience. I think a lot of drivers, they overestimate their abilities, they overestimate their vehicle's abilities, and when all of a sudden they need to practice their skills and see the ability of their vehicles, they realize they're not as high as they may have expected, and they're sliding into traffic, into walls, or into the ditch. It catches people by surprise, and sadly, it happened far too often today, and everyone else behind them are the ones paying the price. So, you know what? Turn on your headlights, drive with compassion and respect. Let's not be in such a big hurry, and give yourself that distance behind traffic. You'll get there, and let's make sure we all get there safely.
Thank you for helping us along the way, Sergeant Kerry Schmidt. We appreciate your time, sir, as always.
All right, thank you. Take care.
And speaking of time, thank you. I wasn't sure if you were still there because, Phil, I'm just looking at snow and a white building, so that doesn't help. So all things considered, as we've been outside, I know that we are among those that have to stay out here. We are going to take breaks to show by leading by example. I think that's what they call it, right? So cameraman, friend of mine, let's go help people know what they're supposed to do by getting off the road and taking a break.
Absolutely, yes.
Back to you, Phil.
Get off the road, go get some pho or something like that, and warm up. Layers, that's what it's all about. Thanks so much, Andrew. Appreciate the chat.